predict go live and see people in. Yes, looking forward to the video. Hi. But maybe we have a little. Yeah, for my side, it's always have internet problem, and people always know that. Yeah, everything because of the VPN.
Let me turn that off. Wow.
Oh, I have to maybe speed not that low. Let me see that over here. Yeah, I have to close that. Ooh.
We're going. We're live. We're here.
Yes, I think we are.
Good stuff.
Oh. Good morning. Someone say, oh, good morning. Someone say good morning to me.
Well, that's right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this. This is Sam Prentice Makes It Happen. I'm Sam Prentice Making It Happen. And today I'm being interviewed bizarrely by Creality's wonderful Corey. Corey, how are you?
Great. Do you think I have to do that next time?
I'm waiting for your video. We've spoken about this a few times now, and you said that you'll do it. You'll go home and practice. Can you deliver one line of that?
Oh, the first one?
Go for it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Corey.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You're nearly there. Good
yes,
stuff.
I will try. And then maybe next time try the other language.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
how about in Chinese? Next time I make it in Chinese.
I'll try. I'll try. I'll give it a go.
Are you sure you want to try?
Not right this second to embarrass myself live in front of thousands potentially of people, but at some point we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay.
Listen, Corey, I'm going to introduce myself because we're just going to get cracking because we've got lots to get through. So my name's Sam Prentice. I'm a UK-based robot builder and maker, kind of specializing in the projects that are R2 building, as you can see behind me. I first turned my hand to 3D printing around about 4 to 5 years ago and found the process quite addictive, as you can see by my background at the moment. So I've been involved with the UK R2d2 Builders Group for 5 years as well. And I've been incredibly fortunate to take part in some of a number of high profile events with my droids. And that might be launch events, red carpet, bits and pieces like that. So, there's certain things I can say, and we've discussed this, and certain things I can't say, but let's be fair, I've been incredibly fortunate, and the people and the community that are around, droid building, be it traditional methods with wood, metal, plastics, whatever, up to more recent projects with Michael Badley on his 3D printing designs of the whole R2D2s. I'm astounded by the community and how this continues to grow. And actually, Michael's group, and this is dedicated for builders of droids across the world, and I think it's topped out around about 7,500 members right now. And during lockdown, everybody, as the world's been on lockdown, and Michael sort of coined the idea of getting people together and working on a thing called Drinks and Droids, which is a droid Zoom chat, and we've had around about 100 members each week coming on, talking about their builds, talking about their printers, talking about all the things that are important in their lives. And I think it's I say kept us all sane. I might be an exception to the rule there, but I've got a strong belief that if you're able to talk and if you're able to communicate with other people, this is kind of the best way to do it. So Michael's got a lot of people to be thankful for getting this all off the ground and making this all happen. And I'm incredibly proud of Michael for getting this sort of done. So yeah, as I say, I've been building for 4 years now. I've got about I think 7 robots now. Some are printed, some are aluminium, as I've said. The ones that are on the floor here are all Creality CR10 S5 printers, printed droids rather. So I've been sort of busy homing my skills on how to use the machine. And I guess the Creality CR10 is the printer of choice for many people looking to build big models, as you know, because you've got one in front of you there. You've got a Mandalorian helmet there, right? You're going to put it on?
Yes, no problem.
Here we go. I'll join you.
Yeah. This one, I think before. Oh, you have the same one in yellow.
Indeed.
Yeah, this one, I think, some people see that we wear that a couple months ago. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's your topic today, so I put over here.
It's appreciated. Yeah. I'm just being corrected. Michael's group is now up to 8,000 members, so that extra 500 matters. Thanks, Rob, for correcting me on that. Anyway, as we move on swiftly, so I'm all about building big models, and I've got 4 CR10 S5s. And I feel that they're wonderful machines. I think they're slightly misunderstood, and I'm doing a YouTube series at the moment on as we've touched on in our chats, on how to maintain your printer, and understanding a little bit more about the things that need to be replaced. And 3D printing, certainly from my point of view, is a bit like owning a car. You can't just buy the car and expect nothing to go wrong with it. You still got to service it. You still got to change the tires. You've still got to, deal with all the problems, change the lights and all that kind of stuff. And 3D printing is very, very similar to that. Having said that, I've been printing all this time and not replaced a single bearing. Who's that interrupting my stream here? Tell them to be quiet.
I'm sorry. That's me.
Tell me that's the plot of Creality, is it?
That's me.
My God. Corey, thought you had a tight ship there.
I'm sorry.
I won't hold it against you.
Keep going.
Are you sure? Should we start again? Good morning. No, okay. So we're talking about printer maintenance and bearings and things. So the printer that I've got behind me right now that I'm doing all this work on and putting this YouTube stuff together, I've just replaced the bearings on it, and the bearings were really well worn. I don't know if you can really see that. And people are saying, oh, well, I'm not getting a good print. Well, check your stuff. I've got a load of crud inside of that. The maintenance on this hasn't been amazing, which leads to things like these kind of weird lines and things, and if you don't maintain your printer correctly, you're going to get failed prints. You're going to get Bowden blockages. You're going to get a whole bunch of issues around that. And it's an important factor that maintaining your printer is fundamentally important. And otherwise, you're going to be throwing away good money after bad. So especially when you're heavily invested into something like, I don't know, what have we got? So this is a Michael Badley R2d2 Dome. So to print this, okay, there are other people that are going to be on this saying, oh, I can do it in 4 days or whatever. But generally, it's about a week to print this, and it's huge. Obviously, it's a big dome. So you're heavily invested into this when you print this thing. So not just in cost for filament and things, but it's more about the cost of time. And if you're 6 days in and it fails here, how confident are you're going to be able to slice that bit and actually make it match? Generally, and certainly from my experience on using these machines, you start again. And time management is an essential commodity when it comes down to making things on your printer. And again, if you're not going to replace a couple of bearings that cost you a few pounds, then what's the point? So you're setting yourself up to fail. And so my series is about that. And I'm hoping to get some things off the ground, talking about bearings and things that have gone wrong with the printer. And hopefully, the whole aim of this is to basically help other people maintain their printers and look at upgrades. And you guys are, what I really respect about Creality is you guys are just full of innovation all the time. And I'm blown away by the fact that your new printer, which I think is on a Kickstarting campaign. I read this morning, it's, you're in $2.5 million or £2.5 million now of funding to that. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, that's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yes, I think it's already over $3 million US.
US dollars. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. And you know,
Yes.
that says to me, you've obviously got some belief in the product that you're putting out. So and people want the latest thing, right? It's a kind of throwaway society now. And I run a recycling business in the UK here. So I see what people throw away on a daily basis, and there isn't really a renewable technology. But with your printers, you know, there are advances and people are bringing out new things. And I've got on mine, I've got a new TFT screen. I've replaced the boards. I'm doing a whole bunch of different upgrades, but the heart of it is still a Creality product. And as things get better and better and technology moves on, we have this shift to make things better. So there's a really, really interesting upgrade path that I guess you can take, and I'm hoping to sort of demonstrate that and understand how that works. Alec, you've asked how often do I change the bearings? This is the first set of bearings. I've replaced 12 of them on the S5 on the carriage. The first time I've ever replaced them in 3 years. So, like I say, if you're wondering why you're getting little shifty prints and things, you can see the lines here. You can feel the lines here. If you're wondering why you're getting stuff like that, just replace your bearings. Do some maintenance on it. You know, I think when you buy a 3D printer, you're so het up and wanting to get it out the box and set up and do your first print, and it prints really well for ages, and then you experience a problem. Then you go onto the communities and try and find an answer, or you go on YouTube or whatever it is. But you know, most of the time, certainly in my experience and the people that I speak to daily about printer problems and things failing and not working and all that kind of stuff, is down to their printer maintenance. It's as simple as that. So yeah, so there you go. You've been told. You've all been told by me. But anyway, as we move on swiftly, so as I said, I'm an R2d2 builder. I've been in the game for a little while now. I love the hobby. I love the people, and the experiences that I've had have just been absolutely insane. So this is my fully aluminium R2d2, which hopefully I won't crash as I sort of moving forward. And here's an RC radio controlled R2d2. Which, you know, we essentially are puppeteers when it comes down to this kind of stuff. And as I say, Michael Baddeley has created a set of files where you can recreate this metal version of a droid very, very simply on the CR10 or whatever printer you may have. The bigger the better, and this is key. You guys changed the dynamic of how we print when you brought out the S5, because the S5 allows you to put a whole dome on a printer, right? And it's low cost. So if you're building this in metal and you're willing to spend $15,000 on monies to buy and create and make these parts versus a 3D printer, you know, it's definitely a good way to go. And you know, Michael's demonstrated things like strength tests, various materials, and you know, it's been an exciting journey on seeing how he is evolving his projects. And it's not just one thing. The guy has created all the domes from the films. All these domes are Michael Baddeley domes, and of course, he's not the only one that's in the game. You know, there is. So I've got a list here. Matt Denton, who's also a Star Wars guy, he did a little baby Dio, and he also is proficient in giant Lego. So Mantis Robots is his YouTube channel. There's a guy called Dave from Droid Division, and he makes these really, really incredible models, which are pit droids and robots like IG-11, which is in The Mandalorian. Then you have various other people, you know, Sean from Project 842, he does, again, pit droids and a variety of battle droids and things like that, which is amazing. And then you even have people like Steve from Imperial Light and Magic in the UK, and he's a sort of an expert on Padawan systems, which is how we control the robots in some cases. And he also created a really cool sort of smoke machine for one of my droids that belts out a load of kind of smoke and things. So, you know, there's some real innovators out there across the world, and you know, places like Facebook and communities that are supported by these makers and builders have really kind of paved the way for people to emerge and show what they're able to build. So, you know, I'm incredibly proud to be part of all this, and I'll just try and move him back without crashing him into a bunch of stuff. So there you go. So that's him anyway. And I'll show you a few of the domes, I suppose. So in regards to sort of 3D printing, you know, this is R2d2 from Little Shop of Horrors. I printed that. This is a Thingiverse file. His mouth will eventually open, or her mouth will eventually open, and you know we're going to make her talk and things. You saw the giant R2d2 Dome, which was printed on CR10 again as well. I also decided that I'd print a really big R2d2 as well, which you know is I know you guys thought it was the Super Mario thing, but it's not. It's from Little Shop of Horrors, and this was created by a guy on Thingiverse, and it's an absolutely superb model. The detail in it is absolutely amazing. So there you go. What else have we got? So this is down here is 3D printed ALT droid. Again, another Michael Badley file, printed in PLA Plus. Again on the CR10. Am I plugging enough for you? Am I saying CR10 enough? Yeah, good. Okay. Yeah. So this is a 3D printed version. The wonderful Lee Towersey of R2D2 fame also makes these in aluminium. So that is essentially the same thing, but in metal. So dependent on how you feel about model making, you know, some people like the traditional methods, so metal and wood and things like that, where others, you know, the emerging technologies now are all about 3D printing. And, you know, there's nothing there that you can really say isn't, you know, you can't do. It's, if you're CADing something up, if you're making these models, they're absolutely phenomenal. So that's good. What else have I got? Oh, here we go. So this is a model that the creator's not going to be too happy about me talking about, but it's a little mini version of that dome. So this is a little 39.1% droid. This one drives along. He's got little track droid motors on him. So these are the little track droid. Again, 3D printed. There's a small motor inside of that, and he shuttles along. This one, I thought I'd put an EDF jet engine fan in. So it's incredibly noisy. I won't start it up now, but out the back is the exit. So it blows, it pulls in the air and it pushes air out the back, and it hopefully will be quite a quick little droid when he's finished. Again, all printed on the CR10S5. Another little plug. It's all good. So Droid Division. This is an IG-11 head from Droid Division. There's a guy called Dave who basically CADs all this stuff up, and this is an incredible model that, you know, he's put the files out to, and he's gifted me these, which is really nice. This will be sort of sprayed in silver, and you know, eventually, you know, what I found here is I've got a lot of models that are just printed and then I don't do anything else with them, and that's a problem, because maybe I should stop and actually finish some of this stuff. But we'll get onto that later. Another model here by Dave as well is this pit droid. Now I'm halfway through this at the moment, this is his legs and body, and I'm so impressed with the design of this. It's Droid Division on Facebook if you want to look him up, and awkward. And you know, again, another phenomenal designer out there that is just so capable of making incredible files. And he's got a little weird head that goes on, and you know, all that kind of craziness. So that's another good one. What else have I got? Lots of skulls. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll turn on this one here. So this is another Michael Badley project, which is a droid called Dio from The Rise of Skywalker. There's his little head. This was printed in lightweight PLA, which is awesome. Michael printed that one for me. And this is a self-balancing robot. So I'll just move this down a little bit here. So this is a self-balancing robot, which has a gyro in it to basically self-balance, which is the nature of what it's called. There's two motors inside of this, and it's weighted at the bottom. So it will move around very comfortably. I say that. And eventually what's going to happen, there'll be an arm that comes up here, which is here. This basically sits here, and that moves backwards and forwards. The head goes up here, that moves backwards and forwards and left and right. And again, you know, another Michael Badley file that he's put out for the patron community. And you know, it really is an awesome little model, you know. So I've got PETG on the frame inside of that, and then it's all the rest of it's PLA, which has then been sprayed to, you know, make this incredible little model. I'll turn him off without him throwing everywhere. There we go. So there you go. What do you think of that then, Corey?
I just have one question. How many staff in your room?
Oh. Yeah.
It's like, okay, you can take one over there and then so add one by one, and you see that it's a lot of stuff over there.
Yeah, and this is where addiction becomes a bit of a problem. So I like to print quickly, and when you have 4 printers that are just going solidly on a UPS system through the night, and you come down in the morning and you knock it off. I mean, I've got a workshop as well, and this is the overflow from the workshop. So there is more. I've got another couple of R2s in there that are in various stages of being built. And I'm, you know, we're in lockdown and I'm not bored. You know, I've got plenty to be getting on with. And I've just got involved with resin printing, and a company called Nova 3D, you may not know them, sent me a printer. And again, you know, the quality that's coming out of these printers and mixing the FDM with resin print. So using those smaller details, you know, these are the kind of quality sort of prints that I'm getting out of resin printing. And as I alluded to before, Lee Towersey, who is the chap that does the R2d2 in the film, a good friend of mine, always up for a bit of a joke. So I've made it for his 50th birthday. I've made him a Lee Towersey pop vinyl, which I've still got to finish off. And there's a limited number of these that I'm sort of producing for the club and for him. And you know, it's just a bit of fun. But again, this was all printed on a resin printer. So that's
really?
Yeah. So, you know, as I said to you before, you know, the evolution of this rapid prototyping, and people like Michael and Dave and all those guys are enabling others to succeed. And it's all really, really positive stuff. And there's no animosity, there's no ego, there's no, you know, kind of oddness to how this goes on, although the community are full of odd people, of course, including myself. So, you know, like I say, it's been a very interesting journey so far, and hopefully long may it continue. We'll see how this interview goes for the rest of the next half an hour, I guess, maybe. But I'm excited, and I love the fact that you guys are bringing out new printers, and you're going ahead with things. So, shall I answer some of these questions?
People want to know how many filaments you go through per month.
Yeah, a lot. And resin now. I'm getting through a hell of a lot of resin, and resin is more expensive than you know, PLA, although it seems to be going up in a trajectory. So I use a company called Filament, and they produce a 2.3 kilo roll of filament. I normally buy a month, maybe 3-5 rolls of filament. So, you know, 10-15 kilos probably. But again, you know, if you don't maintain your printer, you don't get the quality, and you don't get the you know, you get the failure rate, and that really sucks. So that's answering that one. Yeah, obviously I love Star Wars. What printer do I use? I don't even know, Darren. It's the CR10S5, which is good. Let's have a look. So many years. Okay. Yeah. So post-processing. So a little while ago, I came across a product called Motep Spray Putty. And anybody that knows this product is going to hate me now, because this is essentially when you're finishing your 3D print and you're looking to get a high quality, a lot of people fill it with Bondo or P38 or anything like that. This is basically P38 in a can. You shake it up, you put a layer down, and what it does is it creates a layer on top of your 3D print, which you can then sand back, and it takes out any of those kind of imperfections to the print. There are certain models like the flowers and things, and the Audreys, that you actually want that kind of roughness to. But if you want a really, really smooth print, this is the stuff that I'm using. I think it's only available in Europe, which everybody literally cries over. So, but it's awesome. It's really, really good. It's really, really good. So, and the post-processing for things like the dome I've got down here, obviously, this is an 11-day print. If you decide to print one, this took 11 days to print. And if you look at some of the lines on there, it's almost a mirror finish on that. You can see with the light. And that, again, once you put the Motep spray putty on there, and then you sand it back and you use a high, load of grit, it comes out really, really nicely. So post-processing, that's what I use. Anything else, Corey? Yeah,
Nice.
Metal Nerd said spray putty. No, not available in Australia. It's not. But you know what? There are other ways of doing it, and if you just layer it up with Bondo or whatever you might have. Jamie Cox is a chap that on the Zoom meeting we had last week, he won a Lee Towersy pop vinyl. It's printed and it's coming out to you very, very soon. Sam Mountain. Oh, I know that guy from somewhere. I guess I like The Last Jedi. Not. No, The Rise of Skywalker is probably my favorite film because I'm biased. No pun intended there. And I like Solo as well. So what have we got? Tabletop Robots. Yeah, so Michael Badley, I keep talking about him, and hopefully he's going to join us shortly because I know he's on another call at the moment. He's done some smaller robots, and this is, like I said, it's not about setting people up to fail. And if you get into a hobby and you think, you know what, wouldn't it be cool if I could build an R2d2, right? That's generally the way that this community works. Then you see the colossal size of and how long some of these prints take, and we're talking, 3 months of printed, solidly printing for 3 months to get these things done. Then the post-processing, then, all that kind of finishing and sorting things out. And it takes time. It takes a hell of a lot of time. And the advances on, things like resin printing, where you can make a small part, if I've got any. We use the Lee Towersy pop. There you go. You make a small part, the glasses or whatever it might be, and it's pretty much a finished product. And it's very, very simplistic, but an amazing product as well. And again, there's a variety of differences. This is a quick FDM print, which is just horrific in my opinion. That wasn't printed on a Creality CR10, by the way, but and then you look at the difference on a resin print, which for small parts is definitely a good route forward. But there you go. Yeah, Ultimate Man Cave. Yeah, my wife doesn't think so. So we bought a bigger house basically so I could have my own space, and now everything seems to be kind of going outside, and it's worrying. It's worrying. Can the End of 3 pull later spools like 2.3? Yeah, I don't see why it shouldn't do. You'll be able to answer that, Corey. End of 3.
Corey didn't know that.
Cool. So I had a question. When are you? So you got this new CR6 coming out, the SE. When is?
Yeah.
This is a Corey question, and I suspect I know the answer already. How when are you going to put the 500 by 500 on that?
Do you know that we have the CR6 Max?
No.
Okay, I told you.
Okay, right.
but not that. Yes, but not that 500 plus 500, but it's a size like the CR10.
Yeah, it's too small.
Yes, but it's a bigger size.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. And I see somebody just asked for the CR30 will be, as I know, will be in the Kickstarter too. Yes.
Okay, so you guys have got some great successes with Kickstarter.
Yes.
How does that feel? To know that you've got such a massive following.
Oh yeah, we have the record every day new, so that but always have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Creality turned 6 this year as well, right?
Yes, and also, but actually, most of the questions also the people can get the answer in the page.
Okay.
Yes.
So the CR6 Max is 300 by 300. I'm being told.
It's yes, around like that, like the CR10 size.
Okay.
But yes, right now for that one is 250 plus 250.
Okay.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Right. Right. It's a lot of printer right now for me.
Well, we expect you to know the answers, Corey. What's going on?
So I don't know.
Oh gosh. Well, never mind. Yeah. So I've done a lot of recently I've done a lot of experimenting with bigger nozzles. So I'm printing everything now in a 0.8 nozzle, which makes that spray putty kind of really interesting to use. And again, going back to the things that wear out, parts that wear out that I've come across so far are bearings, belts, hot ends, Bowden tubes, the filament teeth, and you've got to make sure your belt tightness is tight and not too over tight some of the parts. Are those the kind of questions that you're getting, Corey, of, my printer doesn't work, and, it's mainly down to user error? Is that what you're finding?
I'm sorry?
Oh, sorry. When are you listening? I was just wondering, what kind of questions are you guys getting that are generally the faults with these printers?
What's that?
Oh, it's a tough interview, Corey. What are you doing to me? What are you finding out from other users? Yeah, I know. I've just seen him. Should we just bring him on? Because I can't see this. This is a little bit of a car crash, and I wanted to avoid that. How do we bring him in? Oh, I can kick him. Hey.
Don't kick me.
Hello, darling. How are you?
Hello, sweetheart. Yes, I'm very good, actually. How are you doing?
I'm amazing. If you don't know, this is the mighty morphing Michael Badley from the Michael Badley R2 Builders group.
I know that.
He's the head.
Yeah, I know that. I joined your group long ago, and then I see you post some your dome on our group, the CR10 group, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes, and you have a group like 1,000 people. Is there Mr. Bradley print group or something, right? Am I right?
Perfect. That's it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. Welcome to join us.
Thank you,
Mike. I've been blowing smoke with you, so to speak, about the amount of time and effort that you've put into making, designing, CADing, sharing, and being an amazing person with regards to support of that community that you're involved with. We've done a bit of dancing around with DO. We've gone through a lot of the stuff with the domes and whatnot, and we've just sort of tried to start talking about the CR10 the CR6 SE and some of the issues that we've come across, and I've talked about bearings and things. Where are you at with your CR10? What's great about your CR10?
By far, the greatest thing is the build volume. What we work on is big stuff, and so there's nothing else in the market of that size, and particularly that price point. So they're very, very, very popular machine. I think it's also upgradable, so you can add various options to it, and so I don't think we'd be able to do what we do, or we would be able to do what we do, but we would have to print 300-400 pieces per build like we used to do in the past. So the build volume is outstanding, and again at a price that's affordable by most hobbyists, because let's face it, these guys are doing this in their sheds or in their back rooms, they're financing their hobby themselves, and so they need to be able to jump in at a price point that's available. And more importantly then is once they've got something in there that's a price point that's available, they've learned a little bit about how the machine works, it's then having a pathway by which you can start to upgrade, add extra features, easily self-maintenance and all of that kind of stuff, which I think really all of the above features in the S5. Absolutely.
You know, I was talking to one of the guys at E3D, and I've been asking a bunch of questions about an upgrade path for an extruder, and he's the Hemera is currently out of stock, but I'm really looking forward to getting that and changing that drive over and seeing what the printed performance is like with that type of extruder. And again, you know, a lot of different motors, different ways of printing, because let's be fair, Creality didn't anticipate, I'd imagine, that we would be printing 3 kilos of Droid on our build plates. You know, that, and Corey, I don't know if you can tell us originally what your target market was for with the S5, but I imagine this is not what you thought it would end up like. Great. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Oh, God, Corey, come on. All right. Well, should we just say yes? Should we just say okay? We'll just say yes. Okay.
I think. I mean, honestly, Sam, I think the point with which I know when I originally got the S5 and started printing these things, there was a lot of debate at the time as to whether the build could shift back and forth with a full body on, which is getting close to 8 or 9 kilos, to get a full dome on with 4 or 5 kilos. The machine does it. I think, you know, it's, but I'm sure that when the original specs were put together, and not speaking on behalf of Corey, but when the specs were put together for that machine, they weren't expecting to print a half a meter cube of solid plastic, because that would be crazy. But you know, and it's testament, I think, of the product that you can take it to that kind of level.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I kind of felt like it was perhaps, you know, rapid prototyping is what kind of they were looking at to start with originally. And Corey, feel free to join us if you want to. But the other the other thing that you know is a real hot topic across the board on you know, the UK R2 builders and the Michael Badley printed droids are things like strength of material. And I know recently, and certainly Michael McMaster that I interviewed last week on my YouTube channel, link and subscribe and click the bell. The strength of material was an interesting thing. And, you know, Michael was blown away by you standing in your garden on one of the chopper legs for the new droid that you're building at the moment. What would make that give way, do you think, weight-wise?
What weight would I have to get to break it? You mean, if I could? Actually, I'm doing quite well, I guess, in lockdown to put that amount of weight on. But no, I get one of the questions and one of the debates is what's the perfect filament.
Yeah.
Now at the moment there isn't one. PLA is by far the easiest to print. It's not. It's quite brittle. It's not that flexible. ABS is actually probably the best from a functionality point of view, but it's a nightmare to print on anything, you know, that isn't enclosed. PETG again's a nice solid print, but it's quite difficult to glue. So what I think came out recently was PLA Plus, which is a lot of additives added to PLA that help it withstand temperature so it doesn't bend too much, and also give it a bit more flexibility and solidity. I think that's probably the closest I'm seeing to get to. And the ones that I jumped around on that R2 leg was PLA Plus, and it took my entire weight, which I'm not disclosing on this video, but it was. I'm sure it could have took another probably half of me.
Amazing. And you know what I'm seeing with your particularly your group, and you know, again, the Zoom chats that we've been having on almost like a weekly basis, and we did, Corey, we did a 36-hour marathon into May the 4th for the Star Wars Day a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, we've got the patches have just arrived. Michael raised a couple of £1,000 for charity. And, you know, it's kind of ongoing. And a lot of these groups, a lot of these Star Wars community groups are about raising money for charity. And certainly this year it's been about mental health and mental well-being. And that's kind of tied in quite nicely. And a lot of our, how many people would you say in your group, Mike, has an S5?
Oh, there's probably, it started probably about 10%. And I think we're probably up now to, I would say, 50%, 60%.
Wow. So 7,000.
Yeah, the evolution happened really where people were printing on what was standard at that time, which was 250mm beds. And what you've got to do with what we print, as you can see in the background of Sam's there, the lovely little droids that we have, you have to chop our models into, I don't know, 50, 60 pieces to be able to print it at that sort of size and scale. The S5 came along and suddenly what I was asked for was, okay, can you do a full body in a single print or a full dome in a single print, which we designed. And since those have started coming out, what's happened is the guys that have got the smaller printers, their aspirations have been to get the big printers, because what they can do is there's not as much gluing and sanding and filling and trying to, you know, make together a jigsaw puzzle. What they're actually getting is a single print for a single dome or a body in 3 rings. So hence that's what's driven that. Exactly. One of those. That's wonderful. Looks good on your head, Sam, if you want to wear it.
No.
So yeah, but that said, we're probably getting on at least 1 in 2 now. About 50% have got S5s, and there's a good bunch of them are looking to get the other ones. The other interesting things is as other manufacturers are starting to bring printers out, one of the first questions that's asked in the group is, does it do a 500mm print? Is it do they do big beds? You know, there's a shift for 400, which is just a tad too small for what we print. So 500 is absolutely king in I guess what we do.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of the talk that we have about you, Mike, is you know, where are we going to see you in 5 years' time? Nothing bad, don't worry. You know, you've grown this group. You know, it's just a few people, a couple of ideas on Thingiverse. You know, and again, you know, I met you in 2016 and had a very bizarre meeting with you at your house, and it was all a little bit kind of awkward, and you know, didn't know you that well, and you didn't know me, and I was just some guy turning up, and it was very odd. But you know, that's kind of how this works with R2 builders. Myself, you know, when I met Oliver Steeples, that was the same kind of thing, and then eventually you kind of, you know, realize that people aren't axe murderers, and you're actually going to be all right. So you know, this has grown significantly, and we talked about this on my other chat. You're at 8,000 members now, probably more after this chat today. Where's this going?
I'll have a longer beard in 5 years' time. That's a start. No, it's been amazing. I think where I think it will go is one of the elements that have put people off 3D printers is they are very much a tinker hobbyist tool, in that unlike a standard printer that you get for the home where it just prints out bits of paper and it works, these things require love, care, attention, a lot of patience, fiddling. You know, that they are very much the enthusiastic mechanics tool rather than off the shelf. What's happening now is as auto bed leveling, power resume, a bunch of features are coming onto these. They're becoming more and more of what I would say is a consumer product. Where I think we're going is as they become more and more of a consumer product, they become more accessible. As they become more accessible, there's more people that will then start to use these to produce short-run household or hobbyist type goods, which is what, you know, kind of what we do, with a distributed market that sits behind it of people that are doing various types of, you know, designs and CAD for people to build. The magic mix, from my perspective, is not just 3D printing. It's when you mix 3D printing with what's happened in smaller microelectronics market like Arduinos, and with the things like servos. You know, if we look where we are today, we've never been in a position where you can get all of the hardware to produce sound, to produce movement, to produce light, that you can then put inside something that you've practically mechanically designed, and you can do all that from your house. And I think we're at the dot matrix stage of that sort of technology. So what I think will happen is there will be more of that convergence, and it'll become more accessible, and the levels of quality in both the design work that people do, the levels of quality in the printer, the ease of accessibility with electronics will continue. And then what happens is you're just unlocking people's imagination in the communities.
I watched the review by Naomi on this new printer, and I've got to say, there are significant improvements, and Creality, I think they've done a really good job on this new printer, and I think it's going to be another game changer. Also bed leveling, a whole bunch of stuff that they've upgraded on the hot end and things. Plug and play. It does look very, very good, and I'm excited to see that in the marketplace and see how that kind of performs. But yeah, dot matrix. It's interesting. It's interesting. And what I like about your group, Mike, is that you're not you're not a closed book. You're very transparent with what you're trying to achieve, and by that I mean if people want to make a modification, you put the file out there, you put the Fusion file out there on your Patreon page, so that if people are serious about it, they can make their own adaptations if they want to. So your freedom to share is mind blowing.
It's weird, and I've spoken to a lot of got a lot of friends who also do bits of design work, and you kind of meet people as you start to do this sort of social space. One of the challenges that all designers have is, how do you protect your intellectual property? So you create something, you let it leash on the world, and then suddenly everybody's copying it or trying to resell it, and there's a whole that sort of thing goes on at the moment. My view on it is, I've got a great idea today, I'll create something that everybody gets excited about and it's unique, and I just throw it behind me, and then I'll have another one tomorrow and I'll throw it behind me, and I'll just keep doing that. I'm not bothered about what happens to the ones that sit behind, and so therefore that the open source model is based on the fact that your designers are actually constantly challenging each other's and taking what you've done and creating something better. And part of what I do a lot in the group is run all sorts of videos, which is kind of, how do you do basic Arduinos? How do you do basic CAD? How do you design for 3D printing? If I come up with new ideas or innovations on how you might connect bits of plastic together, or more ways of doing solid mechanical links, you share them, because tomorrow I'll have more ideas and you keep throwing behind, and eventually I'll become irrelevant and an old person who really doesn't quite understand what he's doing, and there'll be a bunch of people that zoom past, and that's cool. I'm quite happy with that, because that's very similar, I guess, and familiar to all of us, how the R2 Builders Club has developed in exactly the same way. And I think that's why historically the whole world has been closed source. They've all protected IP. Arduino is a platform where they give you this schematics, they give you the code, you can print your own and build it if you want to. It's up to you. And they build everything on brand loyalty because of the quality of what they actually produce. And I think that's where we're shifting. We're shifting to an open source world where we've got a bigger marketplace, but you're not trying to sell something to somebody for a lot more than it's worth. You're just kind of trying to realize elements of value and sharing everything that you do. And I think, that's the exciting thing. That's the exciting thing about not just this community, but all of the communities that we see in that makerspace. And underneath foundations of that is 3D printing. 3D printing has unlocked a lot of that. It's become the standard tool for people who are designers, builders, architects, electronics. It's just something that they can quickly make things.
Yeah.
The other exciting thing that's happening in that space, is all of the patents that are becoming open. That's been I think we mentioned this on the last chat we had, Sam. There's a bunch of patents for new technologies. We've seen FDMs, we've seen resin. There's some brilliant new inkjet patents that have become more in the open space. So I'm sure that Creality will have a inkjet printer that will work with UV resin that's cured with a UV light. They'll have UV printers. I'll just write a list of products that you're probably going to eventually release.
Corey, just so confused.
And that's the exciting thing is, these patents get released, people start to produce new things, we start to buy new things, we do new things with it, and we constantly push the barriers and boundaries. And that's what this whole community is about, really.
Absolutely. Corey, have you got anything to add? Good. Right. Moving on then. Michael Group has inspired many more people to try 3D printing, modeling, and sharing the process. Rob, isn't that Rob, the guy that's building a T3?
It is Rob. Yeah, he's building a T3.
Yeah, he's part of the. So again, a part of what we offer as builders is various groups. There's a BB8 builders group. There's an R2 builders group, DO builders group, and you kind of sit apart from BB8 because you haven't really tried your hand at that, as far as I know, unless no.
No, okay. It's a rabbit hole. That if you go down that, it'll take you forever.
Yeah,
no, I'll make it around to eventually. But there's some really good models out there.
We almost need a Carrie Christie of the UK, and I think you might be that man. So when you get bored, print us up a BB8.
Yeah, we'll do.
Thanks, mate.
No problem.
Good. Anything else? Anything you'd like to say to Corey?
Yeah, how are you doing, Corey? Start with easy questions.
It's too much knowledge here today. So what's
okay.
that?
Did you print that helmet, Corey, that's on your desk?
Yes, but if I get some rate, I think I can't. But right now, I still can't do that. but yeah, if I get more rate, I think I cannot do that. But also has took some time for me to do that for this one. But I think you guys can do that very well. But we also spend but actually for me, I also spend a lot of time to do that. Yeah. Because especially for the support. The support, yes.
Well,
I think what we need, Corey, is we need a pro version of the a 500mm bed. So a pro version of the S5. That's our ask of you, Corey.
I'm reading the comments. What's your question?
Corey, right? This is what happens. You ask the correct question, you never get an answer.
Corey, I want a direct question now. So what we want is the S5, a pro version. So the CR10 S5, the pro version, with all the extra features, bed leveling, and upgraded power supply and heater bed. A 500mm print bed.
So you mean you say your Pro version with the upgrade version for the S5?
S5 professional version printer, a new model by Creality.
Do you think Corey know that?
No, we that's what we want.
No, you don't know that. No, you don't know that.
You work for Creality.
Do you know? No, I don't know.
Okay, so it's going to be down to us creators to try and make things work and make things better and hope for the best. And I hope this isn't your business model, Corey. Oh, well, let's design a new printer. What's
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Is it wrong? I take you two to come here and they challenge me a lot of questions and I don't know nothing.
Listen, this was going to be an easy interview. You said to me earlier that you'd spent all night up. You couldn't sleep all night because you knew you were going to be interviewing us today. And you were really nervous and worried and you weren't able to do that little intro video that I've been asking you for weeks and weeks. And, it's been interesting. It's been interesting. But yeah, like I say, it is, the way that we print now due to Creality has been, a positive reinforcement from you guys. And all right, there's some bumps and troubles along the way, but there are groups out there that will help people. I helped somebody yesterday with a motherboard problem, and I got some satisfaction out of helping somebody yesterday. And these groups, these builders groups, are there to support each other. You know, leave your ego at the door, and you know, have a laugh. But it's you know, it's good fun. It's good fun. Certainly good fun.
Yeah, tech support right there. That's tech.
No. I don't want to. No, but follow me on YouTube, and I'll explain what I'm doing to upgrade mine, and you know, hopefully that'll learn you, give you some little bits of input there. But Corey, any other questions?
Corey, no questions.
Corey, no questions.
Corey have that feel that enough fire will be when the live end.
Okay,
Mike, have you got? Can we see any of your 3D prints?
That's a good question. I've got actually. I didn't bring one, but I've got a DO. Just look at one to hand there. But that's one of my designs. The back's nice. Well, not my. Well, I guess one of the designs off the original model. Which is all of the details and panels and things that are on the back of there. See if we've got anything else that's kicking around, and then we have some smaller ones. This is one that I'm just printing at the moment, which is a small kind of little car robot that rolls around. It's called the Sumo because it's got a lifting mechanism at the front, so it rolls along and it can flip the other one over, so you can have battles with different ones. So they're immediately to hand.
We want to see the good stuff.
Yeah. I'm not in the shed, unfortunately. So,
Mike, come on.
Dio's pretty good.
Yeah, Dio's pretty good actually. And when I did a little demonstration of that earlier, whizzing around without the head on and stuff at the moment. So again, you know, like I say, it's your work is creating the CAD files and then moving forward. And I guess mine is print and never finish. I don't know. But it's,
I want to finish.
to design and CAD stuff up. Before you finish the first one, he's on to the next one, and he's like a machine with producing these types of models and things. So you know, it's it's good. It's very, very good. Corey, have we blown your mind?
What?
She's been like this for the whole hour, Mike.
It's fantastic. Yeah,
exactly. I've just been able to talk, which is my favorite thing, as we know. And you know, when is the? So tell me something about Creality. It's your 6th birthday this year. When's the new printer coming out?
What is this coming out?
Yeah, well, you're working on new technologies all the time, right?
So you mean the printer?
Yeah.
So for this year we have 6 printer. So right now it's in the 3v2, CR6SE, yes, and the 6, yes, it's coming soon. Yeah, and the CR30, yeah, most of them the printer, and the Bell printer, the CR30, but I'm not sure that you know that.
No, not so.
No.
The CR30, did you say?
A lot of people in our groups know that the CR30 is the Bell printer. Yeah, and it's working in process. Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah. Cool. Yes.
That's really good. That's really good.
Yes.
Corey, you look exhausted.
I'm thinking when will be end of the life.
Cool. Well, I tell you what, let's end it on this fantastic high. Mike, thanks for joining me. Corey, thank you
for as always
on your fantastic channel and answering all our fabulous questions. Is there anything else? Yeah, Michael is a legend. CR30 print bed. If you got any questions, get yourself on YouTube, get yourself on Facebook, follow us, and you know, we're very, very happy to talk about it all. And no, don't stop. To Michael, he's not working today, Mike.
I am working today.
He is working. Anyway, thank you very much, Corey. We will see you next time. We'll see you again.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for joining our live show. And maybe next time I really need to prepare the questions for you too.
It's fine.
And I need to go back to watch the Star Wars film.
Yeah, Star Wars films. You know, she's invited me onto her channel, and it's shocking.
Yes, Yes, yes. So for the people that want to see more information about Sam's channel, I post that in the topic, and then later I also will add your group, Michael's group, and over there, and then people just can follow for you too. Don't fire Corey. See that people say that don't fire Corey. Yeah.
You've done a fantastic job, Corey. You're an absolute reality. Thank you very much for inviting us.
You are. Thank you for your printers.
Yes, thank you so much. And then because we have another channel, that's the Chinese live channel. They need to prepare for today's channel. So maybe we have to be end of today.
Oh, you're asking us to go now?
Yes. Yes. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Corey. Bye. Bye.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.